Hello again. This is the implementation of the visitor design pattern. Now, before I begin the design pattern coding, I would like to explain something. We have seen three different design patterns: the singleton, the factory, and the builder design pattern. Now, I haven't mentioned it, but those three design patterns were about creating objects, because mainly design patterns can be categorized into three different categories: creationals, the structurals, and the behaviors. So we have seen the creational examples of design patterns. We have been creating objects and we have been inventing solutions for the creation of objects. Now we're going to start the behavioral design patterns, and we'll see our classes and objects are behaving, carrying out the business logic, and we are going to face different problems in each design pattern. Now let's begin with the design pattern, visitor design pattern. Now the visitor design pattern example will be the postman, because the postman will be visiting residences and delivering mails. Let's first create the main class. It will be visitor main. Now I can give you a traditional example of the postman infrastructure, but it will take too much time. I will first create the interface for a residence. Let's see what happens. If I create the interface of residence, I can say, actually I can create one method for each residence to accept the mail from the postman, and it will be like void accept mail from the postman. We will create a class for postman, and it will take the parameter of postman. Okay, let's create the class. Okay, the postman class will have necessary methods. Just a minute. And we will also have two different implementations of residence. One for a farm, for the sake of simplicity, and one for an apartment. You know, the postman can be delivering mails to all sorts of residences, but in our example we will just have an apartment and a farm, and they will both implement the residence interface. So you will have to override the accept mail. Let's keep this here for now, and just like this implementation, the farm will also implement the residence, and it will accept the postman. Now let's see what have we done. We have created one unique interface for all the residences, and we will supply the postman, this class, with residences to deliver the mail, because postman will be delivering the mail. Now let's begin with creating the list of residences inside the postman. Now the benefit of the visitor design pattern, we'll see in a minute. The farm and apartment will have different infrastructures, different business logics inside them, and the postman will not actually care about the business logic behind these objects, these farm and apartment. The visitor design pattern will tell you just accept email and accept mail from postman, and it will tell the postman to deliver the mail. It will be more clear in a minute. Let's begin with creating the array list of, now this will be Boolean, because I would like to know if the postman has delivered all the mail to all the residences. So it will be delivered boolean array list will be new array list. Okay, now I have the array list. Let's get back to visitor main and let's try to use what we have, what we already created. Now I know there will be a list of why don't you see a list of residents, the interface, and this will be residence list. Yeah, now residence list. Let's make it an array list of residences. Now I will add residence list multiple residences, both for farm and apartment. I can call the add method, and I can add new farm like this. There's nothing special about this code here. It's not abstract list, it's array list. Okay, not multiplied, and I will have residence list dot add new apartment. Okay, now I have to tell the postman somehow to deliver the mails to all these residences. So there's going to be a for loop over residences, and for each residence, you remember we have created a residence interface. They have accept mail from the postman method. So I can say residence dot accept mail from the postman. So who's the postman? Postman. Come on, postman. New postman. Okay. Now I have a residence list, and I have a for loop to tell each residence to accept mail from the postman. But let's think of the real world example. The postman may not be able to deliver the mail to all the residences because maybe they are not at home. Yeah, let's implement them. Maybe they have different public boolean methods to indicate if they are home or not. Okay, I can say a boolean temporary variable new random. Well, they are randomly not at home, maybe, because this is purely business logic. You can implement any kind of logic you want here. I would prefer random. Next, integer. And for the farm, well, you will likely to find the owner of the farm nearby. So let's say 10 plus, sorry, no plus, equals, not equals actually, let's say 3. Okay, I have a random number from 0 to 10, and if the number is not equals to 3, I will return it, and I will say the resident of the farm is home. So delivery will be a success, and let's print this out like this. Okay, so I need the same kind of logic. Actually, it doesn't have to be the same, but I will implement the same kind of logic in the apartment, and it will be more likely to go out, so it will be 4 or maybe 5. Okay, it's 1 in 5 probability, it's 1 in 10 probability. If they are not equal to 3, they will be indicated in home. And postman will actually depend on this logic, depend on this boolean method to be able to tell if the delivery is success or not. Now you see the accept mail methods are empty. So how can I tell the postman to actually deliver the mail to this residence, this farm or apartment? I can call a method like this, but I would never be able to tell if this is a farm or an apartment. So I can pass this type of class like this, here this. So I can implement a method inside the postman. Yes, I can say public void deliver, and this will be a farm. The parameter will be a farm. Now I have created the delivered boolean array list before because I knew the postman will try to deliver the mails to each residence. So I can add this array list a boolean. What boolean? You see the farm has the isHome method we implemented. So if the farm owner is home, the delivery will be success. It's simple. We don't know what kind of logic lies within the isHome method. We don't actually, the visitor doesn't actually care about the isHome method. It just cares about the result, the return value for each delivery. The visitor pattern is about visiting more than one objects, more than one type of objects, and getting the result back to collect them. And this will be an apartment. And I will need to implement the accept mail in apartment to tell the postman to deliver. You see two overloads now. This to deliver to the apartment the mail. Okay, now postman will know if he delivered the farm or apartment, and it will store the boolean results in the delivered array list. Now for the sake of tests, I will need one more method for public boolean has delivered all. Now I would like to know if the delivery is success. This is purely for testing purposes. It doesn't have to be there. You don't have to have a method for an information. The idea of the visitor design pattern is to be able to provide these two methods, these structure, to be able to visit the farm and apartment. Now you can have lots of different residences, lots of different objects. All you need to implement is the residence interface and implement the accept mail. And most probably they will have the same code inside to be able to tell the postman to deliver. Now what can I return in this method? Boolean temporary equals, let's say, true. If one of them is false, it will return me the false. Delivered size. Okay, now temp equals temp and delivered get I, and I can break the for loop for best practice. Break and simply return the temp. Now let's take a look at the main method again. We have created a list of residences. We have the corresponding boolean values in the array list inside the postman. You see, postman doesn't know the residences. Postman only knows about the returned values. The visitor in the visitor design pattern, the postman will be the most actually postman will be carrying out the most most job in your code, and it will store the return values inside, but it doesn't have to know the items, the objects to visit inside. In our main method, we have told the postman to go to residences and to be accepted. When the residence accepts the mail, it will tell the postman, like this, tell the postman to deliver to its own kind, the farm or apartment, and the postman will know if the delivery is success. Well, it will depend on the isHome method inside the farm or apartment. See, if it's an apartment, it will have a different, probability to be a success or not, and farm is also similar. Now I have implemented the list. I have told the postman to visit all the residences, and now I can check if all the delivery is success. Well, let's say postman dot has delivered all. If it's true, it will say success. If not, it will say, well, not success or fail. Let's see how it works. Let's write the example here. Wow, we got lucky. All of the residents were in home, so all of the delivery were true, and the result is success. Let's try this again. See, if there are false deliveries, if one of the deliveries is fail, the result will be fail. This is purely for testing purposes. This logic could be anything. I have implemented simple Boolean logic to actually make it simple. So I can summarize the visitor design pattern. You have one class to visit multiple classes, multiple objects, or even multiple types, and you will get the results of the visiting inside the visitor class. And somewhere else you can create a list of items to be visited, and you can create the visitor, so you can iterate over the items and tell the visitor to visit each of the item. That's it. The visitor design pattern is the postman. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.